Good morning, everyone. If you've not watched Pastor Paul's message from this weekend, go and check it out. He was telling us about Hagar and Ishmael from the book of Genesis. They've been thrown into the wilderness and had to cry out for God to save them, which he did, and even more. This terrible situation became a great show of God's grace and promises. What always strikes me about this passage is that Hagar and Ishmael were in a situation because of a series of bad choices, bad motivations, and bad actions. In fact, the Bible is full of stories not living up to the standards God expects, but God still uses them and does amazing things with them, and still talks about them in the highest terms. And these faults and failings are never excused in the Bible or hidden, but they're great examples of God's grace, goodness, and forgiveness. This is different to how we treat people's failings and faults now. We like to troll social media looking for anything in someone's past that we can scandalize and use to exclude them from certain things or make fun of them. But Jesus shows us that this isn't how God rolls. The Bible says that Jesus came to seek and to save the lost. He didn't come for the perfect and the faultless, because none of us are like this. In fact, the Bible talks more about our weaknesses than our strengths, and it is in our weaknesses that God uses us for maximum impact. There's a Latin phrase called felix culpa that describes this idea. It means a fortunate fall. So it means something good happening as a result of something bad previously happening. It describes that our weaknesses and failings and faults shouldn't be hidden. They're what God uses to demonstrate his strengths, the powers of grace, forgiveness, and compassion. So when we fail and fall and God picks us up, that is something that we shouldn't be embarrassed about or ashamed of, but something that we should be encouraged in. I don't know how lockdown is working for you, but if you're anything like me, you would have had a life that is filled with mistakes and failings and weaknesses, and they can hold you back and cause shame and embarrassment. But what if instead we came out of lockdown having offered up those weaknesses to God, offering up that shame to God? And what if God took the worst moment of your life or your worst character failing and flaw and made something incredible out of it? That's going to be my prayer for myself today, and I hope it's your prayer for yourself today, that God will use your weakness and your failings and make something good. After this devotion, I would really recommend checking out the song. It's called Felix Culpa. It explains more a bit about this idea and about how God can use our weaknesses to demonstrate his strengths. Thanks very much.